Long about now, I bet that boy wishes he had a parachute.
Alright, hey everyone. I'm gonna narrate this story and try to explain this. So, I've always been fascinated with gin poles, and I always wanted one. And my nieces and nephew had a swing set that needed erected. It's extremely heavy. It's all heavy wall pipe. So here's the explanation of how it was built and what we were doing. So here's us starting with the first pole, getting it up in the air. Then we start putting the pipes, the legs in the ground. Our challenge was the pipes had to be different sizes, but we didn't know exactly what size they needed to be, because the holes, we could only go so deep in the ground before we start hitting shale. So this is when we start getting close. It's in the ground. We're just making adjustments, and there it is, finished. So now I'm gonna just play some kind of demo of how it works. I'm gonna pick up this picnic bench. So here's the setup. Here's the winch, Harbor Freight winch, nothing special. I have it clamped to the trailer, and it goes through that pulley, which keeps the hoist going straight, and then a plate to the trailer and bolted it, and they have ratchet straps. So there's the next pulley, the snatch block that redirects the force down, allows me to lift up. There's all my rigging. There's your hitch point, got some jacks so the trailer doesn't try to tip down. That's probably the weak point right there where it'd probably try to break, so I want to clamp something and extend some metal further up. Back to it, there's the guy wires. You can see that kind of the hoist cables actually has tension on it, but those guy wires will prevent them from wanting to swing down. So right there you see, I'm going to stop the video. Right there what I did is I put more tension on the chain hoist, and then that takes the pressure off of the guy wires, and now what I'm going to do is lower the boom. So I lower the boom down onto the picnic bench, pick it up. It's really not that heavy. Drop it down onto the picnic bench, taking the pins out, and this is what is holding all of that weight. So I just welded this piece of 3/8 plate. I drilled an 1.25" hole in it. That should accommodate any type of hook. And then I just put a bunch of bolts in there that clamp onto the wood. There's those pieces of 5/8 round bar that hold the guy wires. The hinge pieces. This angle iron, it's two pieces of angle iron. They're stacked on top of each other. And then here's the redirecting pulley that allows the hoist to pull in a straight line only. There's the pin. So this pin goes through the angle iron, and then I welded, you might not be able to see it, but it goes through that, there's a little keeper there, and it prevents the pin from spinning, so just the pulley is spinning on that shaft, since they're made for one another. The angle iron, I don't want to be a rub surface. So then here's that real good hot weld I put on that old piece of scrap channel. And that piece of bar on top of the angle keeps the cable from ever coming out of there. It's kind of like a guide. And then here's the hinge pieces on the booms. All I had to do was take some pieces of flat bar and I put a bend in them. And again, just like the top, they clamp nice and tight to the wood. And here's the power source.